Here's the funny thing. We go to school to learn stuff, to learn our trade. We do internships, we take courses, we read books, we get mentors, all to try to learn to do what we're doing in our life from a career standpoint, right? Yes. But arguably, one of the hardest jobs in the world is parenting, is it not? Yes, it is. But we don't go to school to learn how to parent. We don't have mentors. We don't have anyone showing us how to do it. It's just like, hey, here's our baby. Now we need to figure it out, right? So I share your concern, parents. I am a parent myself. We have to really kind of wiggle our way through the whole thing and support and love our kids and help them grow into great human beings. But what if they're athletes? What if you have a young athlete and now there's another curveball thrown in? Now you need to help them feed themselves for not only developmental purposes and brain development, body development, but also sport development. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how many sleepless nights I had, even as a sport dietitian, trying to help my three active young ones negotiate feeding, eating for practices, competitions, recovery, you name it, right? And this is me as a sport dietitian for almost 3 decades. It was tough. It still is tough. I get it. Here's the thing. I want you to remember this. If you are a parent and you have a young athlete, remember this. Your young athlete is not just a mini version of yourself, right? Even if you're an athlete or you were an athlete, they are not just small adults. Young athletes require different nutrition strategies throughout their developmental process. That's the tricky part, right? Because you kind of have to keep up with the developmental stages and they need certain nutrients and certain amounts at certain times, right? Unlike adults where, hey, we like this, we don't like this, and cool, we just go about our day. Kids and young athletes actually need different nutrients. And I know that's what makes it so tricky because maybe 1 month you're like, hey, I've got this nailed down. My kid loves what I'm feeding him and loves what I'm making. And then all of a sudden the next month they don't like it anymore. Or maybe their training cycle changed. Maybe they're playing a different sport, a different season. All of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Right? I feel you. I hear you. I've been there, done that, still doing that. So here's what I want to do. I want to teach you, the parent of a young athlete, my optimal nutrition system for young athletes, right? And just for you as a parent, because I want you to have this information to feel less stressed. I don't want you to worry about this. So I want to give you my optimal nutrition system. And there's 3 phases of it. The first phase is very simple. It's daily nutrition. It's how you actually use food to your advantage as a parent to help your young ones succeed in the classroom and also in the practice or competition arena, right? How do we use food to optimize blood sugar for better cognitive functioning and physical development in and out of sports? With that, how do you use food to make simple and easy recipes that your kids will actually like to eat, right? Because that's another problem we have. We don't know what our kids like. And granted, keep this in mind, their taste preferences will change quite often if you haven't learned that already. Okay. So that's my first step of my optimal nutrition system. The second step is figuring out what to feed them before, during, and after practices. That is a whole nother can of worms because it depends on not only their developmental level and stage, but also their digestive system and the sport that they play, if it's indoor, if it's outdoor, right? There's a lot of interesting things that need to be done from a nutrient timing standpoint. So I'm going to help you, give you the skills to figure that out and help your young athlete also. And lastly, I'm going to introduce the concept of biomarker testing. So a lot of parents have come to me lately and said, hey, should my young athlete get their whatever, vitamin D tested, B12, like whatever, iron tested? I'm going to take you through that landscape specifically for young athletes because, yet again, young athletes and blood work testing is not the same as adults and blood work testing. And then along with that testing, I am also going to touch on a very popular topic when it comes to young athletes, and that is supplements. Should your young athlete take supplements? If so, which supplements, which ones are safe, which ones are efficacious for them to take? So I want to share with you my optimal nutrition system to help you as the parent of your young athlete so you can just stop feeling frustrated, stop feeling out of control, and just really you're going to walk away with this with so much more knowledge. But also, this isn't like, taking a course or reading a book. Like, I'm going to give you the steps that you can actually implement in your family structure right now to improve your young athletes' developmental process, sport progression, and cognitive behavior and cognitive improvements throughout their entire young athlete career. So, if you're interested in this, I'm doing a 3-week live workshop. It's live. If you want more information on that, click the link below. It is starting in a few weeks. You'll see that. You'll be able to read all about it. If you have questions, just email me, bob@energyperformance.com. That's ENRG performance.com. I want you to take advantage of this because I want to provide you the opportunity to finally feel more in control. And you're going to be the driver now with helping your young athletes succeed nutritionally. All right. I hope to see you soon.